Yo, what's good, guys? Inswain with Inswain Audio. Welcome back to the channel. If for some reason you're new here, man, where have you been? Make sure to subscribe and join our family. We missed you. I'm dropping tutorials just like this one here, discussions, examples, all that every single day. So welcome. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about the age-old question of, is recording more important than mixing? Or is mixing more important than recording? Do they not matter? Let's get into it. All right, start off, I'm going to show you a little clip from the My Audio Nerds podcast. Definitely recommend them and the whole Help Me Devon channel. This episode is called Is Recording More Important Than Mixing? Which, perfect. I'm going to play you this clip and then we're going to talk about it. So it'll be linked down in the description if you want to check out the full episode. But yeah, let's check it out.
Recording more important than mixing. And this was a big topic we had before about mixing is mixing more important than mastering. But this time I wanted to kind of bring in the recording side because I did see a lot of comments, shout out to y'all, where I basically were kind of pointing out, oh, well, if a recording isn't good, then the mix is not going to help it either, etc., or kinds of things like that. So I wanted to touch on that. How do you feel about recording over mixing? Do you feel like one is bigger than the other, or they're both equally important? Like, what do you feel about it?
I feel like the same way I said, without a good mix, you can't get a great record, but without a good master, you can still get a great record. I think without a good recording, how are you going to get a great mix? Case in point, we look at who I believe is the greatest rapper of all time, Jay-Z.
Okay.
444 is filled with vocals recorded on an SM58 with his mic like this, you know, rapping like
Very
this.
true. Yeah.
Like him moving, him punching in on a Neumann.
Yeah.
And it's very audibly visible.
Right.
So he has some incredible mix engineers. I forget the man's name
Guru
directly.
was one of them.
Guru was one of them.
Recorded
and I
him.
look at Guru as one of the greatest.
One of the GOATs.
They couldn't blend it in. You know what I mean? And
We
it
noticed.
sounded good enough, but good enough was too noticeable.
Gotcha.
And we laugh at it all the time. But it wasn't the mix engineer's fault. It was the
It was the
actual recording
process.
fault.
The recording
And
engineer.
It wasn't a fault. Let's not say fault. Let's say it was the
just
process.
Second
Right.
example, Aaliyah. The record that her estate just put out
That Mike Dean-
featuring
oh,
The Weeknd
yeah.
that Mike Dean mixed, and
Yeah.
I felt like was the worst mixed record. Not
That-
worst mixed record,
It
but
just wasn't his
worst
best work. You
sounding
didn't like it.
It
record
doesn't sound weird.
of
It doesn't sound
that,
right.
Yeah, it
I
just
will
felt
say
like the
that.
mix was terrible. Same with Kanye and Pop Smoke. Like, is literally based on how the vocal is sitting before it gets to the mix engineer. Whether you extracted it from a beat, whether it was recorded badly, it's like the way the there's only so much the mix engineer can do to make it sound better.
Right.
Can I?
Basically what he's saying is mixing is important and you can't have a good record unless you have a good mix. But without a good recording, you're not going to get a good mix. And I kind of feel the same way too, because I feel like recording, I feel like important is a weird word to use. It's weird to say it's more important than mixing, but I think it has a bigger impact on the overall success and sound and sonics of the record than mixing does. So if you want to say it's more important, you can. I think that's kind of a weird word to use because it kind of diminishes the role of the mix engineer. But I do think that a good recording of a good song is going to really set you up. You're going to really have to try to mess that mix up to make the song unlistenable. Any mix is going to suffice and make the song okay. Whereas if you have a bad recording, it might not even be possible to salvage it with a mix. Or if it is, it's going to take a lot of work, which they go on to say in the next couple seconds of this clip, the same kind of sentiment. The way I see it is the earlier down in the chain of events that the process is, the more important it is. For example, the creation of the song, the songwriting is the first step. I think that is the most important. I think if you have an amazing song, even if it has a subpar quality recording, bad mix, bad master, all that, it's going to sound sonically not pleasing, but it's a good song. It's still going to resonate with people. It's just not going to be polished and presented in the perfect way, right? It's just like a rough around the edges type of deal. Well, all right, so that's the first step. The second step is recording, the capturing of the sounds, or, you know, the producing, arranging if you're not recording analog or acoustic. But the same idea. So it goes song creation first, that's king. And then after that, you have the recording and the capturing, the production, etc. And I think that's the second step. And I think it's the second most important, so to speak. And then after that is mixing and then mastering. And that's not to downplay mixing or mastering or any of that. I just think the later down in the chain of events it is, the less of an impact they have on the song itself. And that's why the first step, the song creation, the core of it is the most important. If you have a good song and then you record it well, you did the first two steps well, the last two steps just kind of come. Now, that's not to say they're easy professions. We know they're not, or you wouldn't be here, right? But they're going to be so much easier. Like, if you've ever mixed a song with bad recordings, which I'm sure you have, it's tough. But if you've ever mixed a lot of songs with bad recordings and then you get good ones, you're like, oh my God. I was questioning myself this whole time. Maybe it wasn't me. Maybe my skills as a mix engineer are fine. It's just I've been getting bad recordings and expecting to get amazing mixes, which sometimes is just not possible. That brings me to a side point of a good mix engineer is going to take whatever they get and they're going to be artistic and creative to get the most out of it. Yeah, of course, technically their skills are going to be great. If they need to do background noise removal or tuning, whatever that may be, they're going to know how to do that, but they're also going to have that artistic creative side and know where to say, you know what, that's inherent to the song, that background noise maybe, let's lean into it. Let's make the song super distorted because there's some clipping. So we're going to lean into it. And it's kind of like they say with live performing, if you mess up, keep going and mess up 150% and sell your mistakes and then they look intentional. The same thing can go with mixing when you're working with a bad recording. If you just take whatever's inherent to it and lean into it and do it 150%, it turns ooh, is that a mistake in the recording to, oh, that's interesting. That's neat. That gives it character. And it becomes the best part of the song and it seems intentional. So I think that right there is what really good mix engineers do is they take what they're given. They know how to use 50-50, the 50% technical to repair and to perfect, so to speak, whatever they need. And then the other half of their brain is I'm going to be creative and I know what to leave and what I'm going to lean into. And I think the best mix engineers in the world know how to do both sides, but they also have the executive function to know what to allocate to what and get that best mix at the end. And I think that's what the ultimate challenge of being a mix engineer is. Anyways, guys, I hope you got something from that. Maybe it sparked up an interesting thought or conversation down. Leave a comment down below. I hope you took something from this. My name is Inswain with Inswain Audio. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's a tall ask, but we got to do it. I'm sorry. Anyways, guys, man, I love you. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.